Hi and welcome back to the AQA GCSE History, Britain, Power and the People, circa 1170 to present day revision series. This is episode 3 and we're looking at the Peasants Revolt. The Black Death hit Britain via trading vessels. It arrived in England in 1348. The people who were infected developed a fever. Then thick black buboes appeared on their armpits and groin. Victims would then experience excruciating pain before dying. Unfortunately, there was no cure for this type of plague, and people didn't understand what caused it. A large number of people believed that it was God's punishment for committing a sin. Devastatingly, the plague killed a third of the population. The Black Death killed many different people from all aspects of the medieval society. The surviving peasants could choose who they worked for and for what price because there were so few workers. This angered the lords as they could no longer exert as much control over the peasants. Some lords were worried that their crops would fail and their income would plummet. King Edward III passed the Statute of Labours to try and control the peasants, telling them they had to work for their pre-Black Death wages. Due to the decrease in population, the government's revenue for taxes fell. To raise the funds for war with France, King Richard II introduced a poll tax. Everyone in England had to pay the same, 1 shilling and 4 pence, which was approximately 5.5 pennies, which was just over 2 weeks' wages for the average labourer. In 1381, the protest against the poll tax led to a serious rebellion. On the 30th of May, the villagers of Kent and Essex refused to pay their taxes and threatened the tax collector, John Bampton. On the 2nd of June, the Chief Justice attempted to collect the money but was also threatened. The locals beheaded his clerks. On the 7th of June, the rebels freed a radical priest known as John Ball from prison. John Ball and Wat Tyler headed towards London with an increasingly large crowd. Also on the 7th of June, the crowd attacked symbols of the rich. They burned records, attacked clerks, and killed the Archbishop of Canterbury. On the 13th of June, when the crowd reached London, the city gates were opened by supporters, and they continued burning down symbols of authority and wealth. Richard II met Tyler when he saw the rebels at Smithfield on the 14th of June. Tyler asked that the villains were made freemen. The king agreed, but the rebels went on a killing spree. On the 15th of June, the king met with Tyler again. Tyler was now more confident and asked for changes to the system of law and for the church land to be given to the people. Before the king responded, one of the king's supporters killed Tyler. To prevent a riot, the king told the crowd that he would grant their request. Although this is called the Peasants Revolt, it wasn't just villains, it was also leading men from villages such as constables, freemen and reeves. But the significant thing that they were all commoners and not nobles. The short-term significance of these events included that it was the first time that rebels had gone against the royal power, which scared the king. The rebellion did fail, but Richard went back on his promise, and the leaders of the revolt were killed. However, the rebels' success was important in many ways in the long term, because peasants never had to pay taxes again. Peasants' wages continued to rise, and more peasants became freemen and were able to buy their own land. So that's the end of episode 3 of the AQA GCSE History, Britain, Power and the People, circa 1170 to present day revision series. Next episode we'll be looking at the Pilgrimage of Grace. Thank you for watching and I hope you enjoyed.